Hello and welcome everybody to another vinyl review. Today we have a very special album. It's the 1968, I believe, release from British rock band The Beatles, called The Beatles, self-titled, commonly referred to though as the White Album, as it's purely white except for a little embossed logo. And then the back is also just white except for the stereo logo. The inside just has the track listing and then a picture of the four Beatles. This is the 2018 pressing, not the awful 2009. And it did actually come with these portraits in color, the one I got. It starts off with, and the record itself is just black with the Apple Core logo. The first song is Back in the USSR, which is probably one of the biggest off this album. It's a Paul song, but originally in my life I thought it was a Ringo song because his voice is very akin to Ringo's. It's a very good song, a nice satire of like a classic American 50s song almost. Then it goes into the John song Dear Prudence, which is a nice ballad from him that builds at the end. It's just a really nice way to end the song. Then it goes into Glass Onion, which is a response to the Paul is Dead conspiracy, which I will be making a video on in the future, hopefully. John talks about a lot of stuff in the Beatles canon, so it's kind of like a good look of their career at this point. Then it goes into Obla Di Obla Da, which divides the internet because some people love it, some people hate it. I think it's good, just a good bit of fun. Nice sing-along storytelling song. I believe Paul sings that one. Then it's Wild Honey Pie, which is basically an unlistenable mess. It's not very good. Then it goes into the continuing story of Bungalow Bill, which is a John song that's about hunting in Africa, and it's another like sing-along song. And actually Yoko Ono is on that, which Yoko Ono is part of the reason why the Beatles broke up, which they did after this album. It's a long story. Then it goes into one of the biggest songs off this album, actually, While My Guitar Gently Weeps. I'm sure you guys have heard it. It's a George Harrison song. It's just a beautiful song. And it actually contains guitar from Eric Clapton, who actually married George Harrison's wife after this song. They were good friends. They actually continued a relatively good relationship for him stealing George's wife after this, so that's a fun story. It's Happiness is a Warm Gun, which is a John Lennon song. He got the title off of a Gun magazine cover, which it's a very beautiful song. It's very underappreciated in the Beatles canon. No one really listens to it. It's very underrated. I like the form of it. It's different to any other song of theirs. Then it's Martha, My Dear, which is another ballad. I believe it's like ragtimey almost, with Paul at the helm. I'm So Tired it's just a John song about him talking about how tired he is. It's not the best. Then it's Blackbird, which is actually one of two songs here that actually inspired a lot of social change. So during the Beatles' trip to America, the group in the Beatles' British invasion witnessed the mistreatment of African Americans in the civil rights movement, and they wrote Blackbird about it, which it's a folky song. It's really good. And it did actually inspire some change, and because no one in the UK really knew about it. Then it goes into Piggies, which talks about another social song about from George Harrison's perspective about the unequal distribution of wealth in the United Kingdom at the time. They had a lot of problems there too, not nearly as big as ours though. Then it's Rocky Raccoon, which is a great, insanely good storytelling song, also very underrated. Paul McCartney sings it, and it contains Ragtime Piano from George Martin, the fifth Beatle, as he's known as. Don't Pass Me By is a Ringo song, actually, first of two, and it's one of the best off the album, in my opinion. This is also in the Paul is Dead Conspiracy, but this is it's harder to explain that part. I really like this song, because it's like the country twang that Ringo has on most of his songs. Why Don't We Do It in the Road? I'm sure you guys can figure out what that's about. It's alright. I Will is forgettable. Julia is another John Lennon song, ballad, that is just very emotional, but it doesn't have the build like Dear Prudence, so I'd say it's a little worse. Birthday, one of the most popular songs on this album, because it's just a birthday song to play on your birthday. It's really good, and it's Paul McCartney, I believe, doing the Ringo voice, like back in the USSR. Your Blues, another underrated track. This is a very heavy, dingy, grungy, almost guitar song by John Lennon, talking about how depressed he was, and it touches on suicide. A very good song. And then it's Mother Nature's Son, which is like a Sinatra-esque song from Paul, I believe. It's very underrated. When I listened to it on my last pass through, I thought it was very good. Everybody's Got Something to Hide Except for Me and My Monkey gave me like 80s hairband vibes almost, if that makes sense. Like the instrumental parts of it were kind of akin to that, and the lyrics are stupid like 80s hairband music. Sexy Sadie it's alright. I like the doo-wop backgrounds the group does. Helter Skelter gets a bad rap because it was part of the reason for the Charles Manson killings, but it's an insanely good song. It birthed the metal genre, as many would say, and I really enjoy it. Long, Long, Long is another forgettable track. Revolution 1 is like the Revolution single that most of you guys have heard, but just slowed down, and it's a good rendition. I think I like it better than the single, actually. Honey Pie is another forgettable track. Savoy Truffle is a George song that the beginning of the song was really good when I last listened to it. Cry Baby Cry is like the last real song on the album. It's a John Lennon song, I believe. It's just him confronting like his girlfriend or something. And I like the way the piano gets like out of tune and they just start hitting it in it. And then, oh, what's this? It's the elephant in the room. Yeah, Revolution 9. The worst piece of garbage I have ever heard. This is the worst song I will probably ever be reviewing. It's just unlistenable. I like psychedelic, like avant-garde stuff. Like Piper at the Gates of Dawn is my favorite Pink Floyd album. But this is just unlistenable. It's like 7 minutes of garbage. Nothing goes on in it. We're just skipping past that. Curse you, John. But it ends with one of the most beautiful, brilliant songs with a full orchestra in the background. And it's a Ringo song. Like, what a way to end the album. So, this album, it's good. It's good for what it is. At times it seems hodgepodge together because the tracks are so different. But there are, like, underlying themes throughout the album. This is a concept album by no means, though. And for that, I think I'll have to give it an 87. So, everybody, tell me what you think. Did you like it? Did you love it? Leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe. A subscription would be awesome. And I hope you guys all have a great day. See ya.